I was there.
I was there.
At the dawn of the Third Age.
This is an Interstellar News Network special report. 2 years after winning the Shadow War, Captain John Sheridan, president of the Interstellar Alliance, is leaving Babylon 5 for what many expect to be the last time.
I don't need an interstellar alliance. You're my universe, Dylan. I love you. A friend of mine once said, the future is all around us, waiting in moments of transition, to be born in moments of revelation. This is just such a moment. Fire this baby up. Oh, something's wrong. What kind of energy does this facility use?
Tachyons.
Oh, crap. Where the hell am I?
Yes, I'm stuck in time, moving between timelines, universes, realities.
The longer you stay out of your own timeline, the more you'll start sliding into parallel worlds.
So how do I fix it?
You have to get back to Babylon 5.
Losing the Shadow War wasn't your fault.
Wait, we lost the war?
On the positive side, at least we have a good view of the show, eh, Sheridan?
This is Babylon 5. We are under attack.
Do you know what a last stand is? You just joined one.
Activate destruct sequence.
Destruct sequence? Are you feeling all right? This isn't just one of those I'm having a bad day things.
I am totally in a mood to blow some stuff up.
Everything ends. I'm not afraid. Bring it. John?
Stay back!
It's happening again. I'm coming unstuck in time.
Zathras won, but no one listens to Zathras.
You look like someone in need of a friend. Friend.
Out of here. No.
Yeah, we're out of here.
That's what I always want to say at work when I get that recording in progress message. Like, oh, I'm out of here.
I thought you were recording Sheridan. Get the hell out of our galaxy.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. So, been a minute. We got Will Johnson back from the Downbelow podcast.
Hello.
We promise we'll have you on some other movie, TV, and music chats, but it's just so much fun to kind of just see how, with the new animated movie by Warner Brothers Animation, how people just still kind of like stand up and go, me, I'm a fan. It's like, where you been?
I know, like in the past year, one of my friends has started watching the show, and it was, I mean, not a close friend, so it wasn't like I was in his ear saying, you need to watch it. She just kind of picked it up on his own, and he just fell in love with the show, and he's always posting like B5 memes and stuff like that on Facebook. So
oh, totally.
there's still people finding the show
all the time, and it is funny how anything goes in waves. Some people are comfortable with other stuff, while other people kind of want a little more closure.
Yeah.
So I just figured, hey, it was a good time to, let you back on to kind of talk about your favorite moments as well as villains.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much to choose from.
Yeah, well, there's so many good moments from the episodes. I was trying to go by memory because I'm not one of I love this show, but I know a lot of people watch it every year.
Yeah.
I have so many unwatched shows. It would be hard for me to justify watching a 5-season show every year. But
same. I'm like, I so badly want to secretly go back and look at anything from Deadwood to 24, and like, I'm not gonna have time for anything else if I do that.
Yeah, but it was just jump in some of the top moments.
Sure. Yeah.
One of my if I were a good podcaster, I would have gone and tried to get the episodes that these were in, but I didn't do that. One of my favorite moments was Delenn's you're in front of me, he's behind me. If you want to live, be elsewhere speech, where she's just being a badass and taking on the Earth government.
Yep.
Kind of by herself, because so there's some really good speeches on some really good, especially from like Sheridan and Delenn and
absolutely
Jakar, and
it gets you literally prepped up for battle.
yeah. You're almost kind of disappointed that they ran and she didn't get to like just blow the hell out of them.
Yeah. You feel that angst now that the actors are finally really in the mode, and you're just feeling every verbal slap in a way.
I think that was sometime during season 4, I believe. So yeah, it's been building up and building up, and
yeah, totally. I especially love it when they're pretty much just making a final stand against Earth, and they got Ken Jenkins from Scrubs as the Captain Trevor Hall, and he's pretty much like, "Hey, I've heard every word. I am going to take all you guys down." And just all the rotating shots as they're showing areas of the ship that make it bigger than it is, Now, also just applaud just anytime any of the Shadows guys are coming out, and they're pretty much just dropping hints about what is to come.
Going back and rewatching, you see that they're dropping hints like so early on, even
unheard of today.
Yeah, it's kind of in one way I like that a lot of modern shows have fewer episodes, but there's also the fact that they don't have as much time to set up set up and pay off everything.
They got to take their time, but now we don't even have any time anymore. So what are we talking about?
You got 6 episodes to tell a story. There you go.
And animation was just great for this new animation movie, because even if you're unimpressed by it, I think there's going to be more to come from that if the sales are successful, and I just think it's the best way to go, since most of the cast is unfortunately passed. And did you see any of the? I was able to get the Blu-ray real earlier from a eBay seller. Did you see any of the special features?
I have not had a chance to watch the special features, but I just remember thinking like, wow, this is so genius. Like, why did this come up? Well, because they weren't doing anything with Babylon 5, but the fact that so many actors are gone, this really solves that problem, because you can tell a story in any era, and recasting a voice is not as jarring as recasting a live action actor.
Oh, and I applaud the voice actors themselves. There's we pretty much are like, we are imitating the actors, because we're not going to be able to, we're doing this for them, to make them proud of their work.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. I just remember being so excited, because it's one of the things you kind of think would never happen. It's like, oh, we can get all the speculation, like, oh, we need to tell a story about this event basically working around fans working around the limitations because of these certain actors being around. But this, not to do anything. I remember JMS saying, "We've got this Babylon 5 project wrapped up. It's already in the can, and we'll announce it at Comic-Con next year." And I'm just like, what could it be like? But when the announcement finally
After
came out,
several years of saying it's over or it's back.
Yeah.
At least they
think he
knew there
said
was
that
something around the corner instead of just prolonging.
Yeah. Instead of just wishing we could have more, we actually have more. I think he said that he could probably do 2 movies a year and still maintain the quality. I'd be happy with 1.
Yeah. Just as long as it's not getting to the end of the tunnel and you're like, I don't care.
Kind of like those Justice League movies that Warner Brother does.
Oh yeah. Don't test everyone's patience. No.
Some of them are really good, but some of them are like, that's 90 minutes I can't get back.
No, I have to do the same thing with my sister where I'm just like, hey, I know you really want to see this. I would rather wait for HBO so that way I can save my time on this, yada yada. But I know, easier said than done.
So how'd you like the movie?
I was actually pretty impressed. It's not gonna win any awards, but I mean, just the animation itself, I think, was interesting. It's kind of their answer to the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's my favorite of them. It's not my favorite of the movies, but
oh, that's fine. I'll let you do your new ranking of them.
If I recall, I was looking at ratings from when we were doing the show, and for some reason, we all hated A Call to Arms, which I don't remember enough of it to remember why.
I think you said a lot of it was just kind of the music and just not liking the female lead, even though it leads up to Crusade.
Yeah, I figured I would have liked it because of that, but yeah, I guess it was.
I'm a suck up, so why would I know?
Yeah.
I like everything, even when it's technically just really not very great. It's just, if it's just kind of comfort food, I kind of just go with the flow. But this is still, and just looking back at this now, how do you think you'd introduce people into it now? Would you still do the in the beginning movie first, along with the show, or would you just skip around?
Yeah. So that was my least favorite. A little bit ahead of that was Legend of the Ranger. Surprisingly, if it asked me like 10 years ago, I probably would have said this was by far the worst. But it is, if you counted it, it was really like a backdoor pilot, I guess.
It was. But like you said, the virtual reality, how they were fighting was just very bonkers dumb. It just wasn't well animated.
Yeah.
Even though the story makes sense. Okay, yeah, Jakar is, this is a side quest, but there's still these questions looming.
Was there someone in that movie that was maybe I'm thinking about something else. I was thinking that maybe there's a character from Crusade in this movie, but probably.
Oh, not. Yeah, the female lead was on there later, as well as Peter Woodward's mage character.
And a little bit ahead of that, I had River of Souls.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
Wasted Martin Sheen. That's weird.
Yep. But yeah, Gollum was in Lost Tales and Call to Arms, but yeah, River of Souls is just one of those where it's like you like the cast members, but getting there is very, very slow, and you're just like, why is this slow? Even by B5 standards. And it just, I think that it should have just been an episode, and they should have had a B plot going instead of we're doing a movie special.
Yeah. Guess TNT wanted that movie.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know why, but
they were, yeah. I think they were really trying to get into sci-fi.
It's wild though how IMDb, and I don't know who added this, if it was on a chat or from a Reddit, but it claims that J. Michael Straczynski is still not allowed to use any characters from Crusade due to a dispute with TNT. I'm like, see, there's still some bad blood if that's the case.
I don't doubt it. JMS seems to garner a lot of bad blood in the industry. It seems like.
I mean, I can understand him mouthing off and being outspoken. At the same time, I kind of like it when people just kind of pull a Conan O'Brien where they're doing something weird, but they convince the producers who are telling them to not do it that it's their idea. So then they leave them alone because they they made them think, hey, yeah, I did that.
Slightly ahead of River of Souls was The Lost Tales. I think I liked the Centauri story better than the Lockley story.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But it was okay. And
it's more of a exorcism.
Yeah. A little bit ahead of that was The Gathering, which was the first thing they ever filmed for the show. It's good for that, and
totally.
And a little bit ahead of that, I had these would probably be kind of really close together. The next three, I would have probably Third Space in the third spot, The Road Home in the second spot, and In the Beginning in the first spot.
Sweet. And I think that's generally how most people kind of do it. I just like Third Space just because the art direction is really good and it's a standalone kind of B movie plot. And it's like, okay, this monster's been unleashed. It can mess with people's minds, so we're having to deal with a riot. At the same time, we're trying to, combat this giant alien ship.
Yeah. The Road Home might be benefiting from the newness of it. If I had to re-rank these a year from now, it could be different. But right now, it's second. I saw a lot of people, before I had a chance to watch it, I saw a lot of people saying that the Prime timeline was done with, and they thought that he was going to explore this new reality that we got to see towards the end. But when I watched it, I'm like, I don't know how people got that idea. And then JMS, like a couple days ago, said, nope, the original timeline's still there and still ripe for storytelling.
Yeah. I saw others complaining about his humor, and I was like, yeah, he's kind of always done that dry humor, though.
Yeah, he's a 77-year-old guy. That was my only complaint about the movie, is that some of the humor was definitely written by a 70-something-year-old person, spoken by people who are, much younger.
Sure, and there's lots to take in. And
I was kind of thinking the same thing when I read his novel that came out. Like, these are young people, but they you could tell this book was written by a guy who is, not of the same generation.
Yeah,
It's fine, but it's not that big of a deal, but it stands out a little bit.
And you learn a little bit of everything every day when it's like, okay, so they think this is cool, but really it's not quite there yet. But,
I really, I think In the Beginning was the last thing Claudia Christian filmed, maybe. I
yeah,
remember my B5
that or
history. Yeah.
that or Third Space, but yeah, I mean,
Oh,
she
yeah.
to be fair, I mean, she's just moved on so much. So,
But at least she came back for the road home. I think there was, yeah, speaking of JMS garnering bad blood, I think there was something between them for a while. And I think there was something between him and Patricia Alexander for a while, but I think they've made up.
mm-hmm. Yeah, lots to. I mean, she published her own books apparently, and I think there was like a cease and desist. They're like considered non-canon, but I was able to find them on some online PDF sites. So I'm look forward to reading those.
Oh, who did?
Claudia Christian.
Oh, do I have that? I don't think I. Yeah.
If you want me to email them to you, I can do that.
Because I have Patricia Tolman's book. I haven't read it yet.
Oh yeah, her behind the scenes talking about her stunt career, and yeah, that is a good one, but it is pricey. Yeah, altogether. Who are some other villains or just gigantic moments that you just kind of feel are just epic?
Yeah, I'll go through some moments that I just popped first that popped to mind. One was when Sinclair makes his return in War Without End. Because we hadn't seen him since season one. And when I first started watching the show, it was in season 4, so I didn't know anything about Sinclair.
Like, who is this guy?
TNT got the show, and
Must be someone important.
Yeah. But I don't think he's even mentioned after season 3, so I didn't even realize there had been a person. So yeah, so there's just that moment. I remember when we did the podcast, we really tried to hide the fact that he was gonna be back. And,
it was tough to not give every other spoiler away.
Yeah.
If you're with us now.
And we got them to record their reaction to when they finally saw him back. Is rewatching it, you just kind of appreciate once it was revealed what he had gone through, during that season he was on. Just kind of appreciate his character a little more.
Mm-hmm. Instead of being like, who the hell's this guy?
Yeah. This guy's, he's not as dynamic as John Sheridan, and so.
Yeah. It's not, he just doesn't have as much appeal. And I think it's nothing really his bad. I think it was a mixture of his interpretation versus their limited budget.
Yeah.
And I think it just helped that Fox Lettner had already done sci-fi and TV longer, I guess. I don't
know. Another moment was the scene where Sinclair is showing Earth's religions, which I thought was a cool scene.
That, along with him, Sheridan realizing his wife isn't dead and having to get away from the shadows, unstoppable.
Yeah, it was.
It's just so much to take in, and this is before Garibaldi is doing his Mars saboteur stuff, and Franklin's trying to have combat some addiction, and it just I think Marcus is the one who's the warrior. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he and again Ivanova, Christian's character, are just kind of got their romantic tension while they're going on their own dangerous adventures. I think it was cool to have kind of not just A and B plots, but also kind of C, D, and E plots too.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments, I guess, the entire series is Ivanova's "God sent me" speech.
Yeah,
Like, I am death incarnate.
it's a pretty cool speech.
Yeah.
She's really good with monologues.
Yes, good monologues. There's a scene where Kosh is seen by almost everybody except for like Londo.
We'll return after these messages.
The Jacked Up Review Show podcast is honored to be part of the Blind Knowledge Podcast Network. Join anytime, talk the talk, and enjoy yourselves. There's something enlightening for everyone with this crowd of cool cats. Check them out.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Watch Babylon 5, weekdays at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, exclusively on TNT.
Babylon 5 ended a great war and united 100 alien races in peace. Danger didn't die. It just went underground, with new heroes and new evils to carry the torch.
We need to make sure they all understand we will not be intimidated.
What is wrong with you people?
We have to protect him against himself.
Watch an entire new season of Babylon 5 with all new episodes. Every Wednesday night at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Exclusively on TNT.
And it's so wild because, at those first 5 episodes, you're like, I'm not sure how I feel about either Jakar or Orlando. They're always up to something.
And I liked the, I would say like is the right word, but sometimes I go back and watch the scene where Babylon 5 is demolished and got the swelling music in the background and the station just blows up.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that along with how they describe the stars, I think is good world building.
Yeah, stars. Yeah.
Because you always wonder about the various science behind everything. Like, okay, we got Star Trek type technology, we got Star Wars type battles, but how many people are on here? This and that.
So exactly what is a villain?
Yeah, good question.
Think of the villains. Well, I'm kind of ashamed to admit one person I forgot when I made the list originally, but I remembered in 5 minutes before I signed on.
Oh, good.
That's Bester.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a Gestapo, Nazi death squad, and he's the face of it, he's already a genre favorite, and we're having to tell the viewer, by the way, this is not Nice Guy Chekhov. This is Walter Kona being a real bastard. Yeah, I think he's a favorite just because he's really he can be very laid back or just in everyone's face. You never know till he enters the room and intimidates you. And
Yeah, always got his own agenda, I think.
yeah, I'm still not really sure where he is, even at the end of it. Even if you're reading the spin-off book material, you're like, what is his ulterior motive?
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying earlier, as a point where Jakar is kind of a villain and Londo is kind of a villain at times.
Just
but
so many surprises.
yeah, but I think Mr. Morden would be also another good villain.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
kinda.
yeah. Totally. I tried talking about him, but I just kept forgetting his name, and I'm like, no, it's not his name. Those are the good guys. Okay, yeah, Morden. I mean, just that voice is just like, yeah, I'm not sure if this guy is a barfly or if he's a cool guy, but kind of sounding douchey. I don't know until he opens his mouth.
Yeah.
But he means what he means, and he's either going to keep talking in riddles or doing something else that's mischievous.
I like the Centauri Emperor.
Oh,
so insane. So he's very. I don't know if there's any. I can't remember if there any of.
There's so many, but I know what you mean. Where he
pathetic for
is just
him.
like,
Yeah.
he has no like. I just would kind of call him very lacking in self awareness, kind of like what an elite he is.
Yeah, even Bester had times where you kind of felt bad for him, but I don't know if I ever felt.
He's an emperor after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's pretty much got another thing coming.
His head on a pike, right? No, that was Morden, sorry. Veer did kill the Emperor, though.
Yeah, very unexpectedly. And it's just kind of interesting because you're just like, seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine and all. I just like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Subverting expectations, which is good.
That it was.
You notice that the shadows had like shields in the movie? I don't know. That was interesting. I don't remember. I guess they had them in the. They have them in the show.
Yeah, they're pretty shielded, but yeah,
they don't look same. I don't know.
But I liked how they were animated. They kind of remind me of the bugs and like aliens or Starship Troopers, but minus any camp or attempt freaky without kind of more like a spider.
Yeah, I saw JMS say that he told the animators not to be too in love with the look from the show, and then he gave them some freedom to do their own thing.
Mm-hmm. He pretty much was straightforward. It's like, I want it to be this. And it is funny how each time you ask him how many are on certain ships, he's always like, as many as the plot demands.
Yeah. How fast is the ship? Travel at the speed of plot is his famous line.
They don't have warp speed or a Kessel run to make there. You got a whole different kind of science. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie, which I think you see it in the trailer, was when Londo and Susan are waiting for the world to end, basically.
Yeah, no kidding. It's funny kind of seeing their doom and gloom, and it's like, no, guys, you're good. Nothing to worry about here.
At least Sheridan. We knew Sheridan was safe. He was going to get out of there with.
He'd have a reason, yeah.
Yeah.
But Crusade has a few fun moments. I actually like a lot of the planetary chases. It just kind of gives them their own kind of. It's less like a video game and just more. I feel like that's as closer as they get to Star Trek, especially when they got like computer devices taking over their ships and just examining more of their science and just other just kind of adventurous expeditions. And like, see, I kind of wish there had been more of that in D5, but it was here and there. They didn't want to risk being another Star Trek knockoff without its own sense of material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Morden. I think it's just interesting how for a while he's like the face of it. And you're like, I'm pretty sure he's the main guy. And we're like, well, kind of, but not really.
Yeah. It's interesting how I guess you can call the Vorlons villains at some point and allies. Just how they had their whole. They both had their fingers in so many different things, just trying to manipulate everything and everybody.
Mm-hmm. The sooner the better, man. Let the cat out of the bag. What do you think is overall what makes the show, I think, epic, other than the speeches, set design, making up for budget with great music and actors and other people who worked on other sci-fi crime shows?
Yeah, I think it's the scale. Because it was, if not the first, one of the first shows to try to tell a
serialized
big story over 5 seasons. And the storytelling was, the writing was excellent, and yeah, maybe he worked himself too much to.
Oh yeah,
the story.
He had like 3 to 4 hours of sleep every day. So.
Yeah. I can't remember the number, but what if he wrote like well over 100 episodes in a row?
It's just so unheard of.
Yeah.
And I saw a corporate piece literally a few weeks ago that was bashing the new Star Wars shows, saying, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau should hire a writer's room. I'm like, well, Michael Straczynski and others have shown that there's more consistency if you just have one person. I mean, I don't personally care. I can go either way on that, but I'm just like,
yeah.
I think I see a lot of people complaining about the 10 episode format. I personally like the 10 episode format. It gives me less time to have to catch up on anything.
I agree. There's so many shows out there. I kind of like when they're done in like 8 episodes or 10, but I guess there's a part of me that misses like that.
We're just all spoiled.
Yeah. What's the episode where you see from the point of view of the janitorial staff or whatever?
Oh yeah, it's like a season 5 episode. We coincidentally did bring this up, and I would have loved to see more of those guys.
Yeah, those episodes, you don't get, when it's only like when everything's tight and you only have 10 episodes, you don't really have as much room for those kind of episodes.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
a Lower Decks episode, if you
Lord,
Star Trek reference.
Yeah, Star Trek's got plenty of filler episodes, and it is so funny how which ones have just evolved over time. Where it's like, I recall that being fun when I grew up. I might not like it on a rewatch. Yeah, Lower Decks did have some filler episodes that drove me crazy. I'm like, come on, guys, focus on the animation and the gags. Oh, but I do wish they could be kind of like Star Trek, where they'd have something for adults, they'd have something for kids, and just kind of a way to make its universe a bit bigger. I mean, hell, if they want to cross it over, be my guest. Won't happen because Warner Brothers doesn't want to split the pie, neither does Paramount, but I'd be down.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some. Maybe Disney will Star Trek and Marvel and something like that.
I mean, you can do that. Are you sure you want to proceed? No, I'm just kidding.
I think there have been some comic books like what X-Men and Star Trek.
Yes, there was. Yeah, it was like Second Contact or something. Oh. It's interesting how we have all these different characters though, and you could literally follow any of them around, and I kind of miss that. We have that with some shows, but for the most part they're kind of just action crime. It's very rare that I see that with, I think The Expanse is a good example, but like everything else, not so much of that, like where there's multiple people to follow around. I'll give Ted Lasso applause because that's one that has a lot of just like, it's part of the comedy. There will be like 5 things happening in one room and you won't catch them all in one scoop.
Yeah.
3 people are doing 2 wacky things in the background while 2 other people are talking.
I say a complaint a lot of people have with Star Trek Discovery, especially early on, was that, other than like 3 characters, you don't really know anything about anyone else. You have this whole bridge crew, and
it kind of forces it upon you. But yeah,
the first season I couldn't remember any of their names just because we didn't spend enough time with them, or for just maybe like 1 or 2 people on the bridge crew besides
class,
but
and the call signs.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's a good contrast. I do feel like it definitely took a lot from Battlestar, with there being a mutiny every other episode, and then like B5 having the bigger picture scheme where none of this makes any sense to you, but we got your attention, so if you stay with us, we're gonna blow your mind.
Yeah, I think it was until 2nd season where they finally actually started to do stuff with the other
better cast, less plot reveals. I think it's just because there were so many writer changes, and when you got too many cooks in the kitchen, you're going to have a rough patch. But yeah, a few fans said that the even number seasons are better, and I would definitely say that's pretty accurate. It's way more comfortable. Season 3 I thought was very engaging, but then it kind of lost me with some other side quests. I'm like, hold up.
You can tell I'm like I'm easily manipulated by
Aren't we all, dude? I mean,
beginning of season 3, I was like crying at every episode of Discovery.
It's all good.
Getting emotional with them.
They had some good acting. No, it's all good.
And a lot of fans like to complain about how much crying there is on that show, but I was all there with them.
I think we got a lot of heartless people. But yeah, I wasn't keen on it when they showed an edited version of it on CBS one summer. After, well, once I borrowed Paramount from a relative, I was just like, you know what? I'm in it. It's not perfect, but, you know, neither was Enterprise that first year, and neither was, you know, there's plenty of episodes you're going to want to skip on all the other ones too. There's plenty of episodes of Next Gen and the original that people hate, and I don't think are that bad, but then there's other ones too that where you're just like, yeah, it's just fun. It's not great, but it's okay. I mean, I did actually have fun rewatching DS9, and I used to just always be like, yeah, B5 over DS9 any day. There's some good episodes, but it doesn't get anything cooking until, you know, Worf joins the cast, yada yada. And then on this rewatch, I was like, you know what? I'm torn now. It's not great.
I was going through, I was thinking that like how so many shows didn't get really good until season 3, and I was like listing them like Deep Space Nine and The Next Generation and Babylon 5. They started getting really, really good until like season 3. I think even some comedies. I can't remember the name. Can't remember which
well,
one.
And kudos to them for having what's now kind of commonplace now, especially on episodes of NCIS, whereas like they have 7-parters. I'm like, see, I wish more shows would do that, especially in those final DS9 seasons. Is like, see, those were actually very intriguing. But I think a lot of people, I mean, I still see people complain, why is sci-fi not on actual TV anymore? And it's like, it's just, it always just is a very low rated show for whatever reason. No one knows why.
Streaming if you want sci-fi. Gotta go to Apple TV. They have some good sci-fi.
Yeah.
What you said reminded me of that Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, because they would have like these really long, it was some storyline. I wish I could remember. Like I remember just watching that show, and it's like such and such part 10 or something like that. Like these really long storylines. Once they got going for a while, you know.
Yeah. And it's just so much to unpack now.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great having you on here just for this quick chat, and I feel like it was interesting seeing how our rankings really haven't changed all that much, but the animated movie kind of just boosted it a bit, and it's like, say, maybe there can be some fun movies instead of just them being just, you know, time filler.
Yeah. No, it was a fun movie. Yeah.
Totally.
I'm glad it's back. And I'm glad it wasn't just awful, because then that would have just killed B5 for who knows how long.
Oh, then the world will really be screwed if they kill B5. Oh man. So thank you ever so much, man. And I promise we'll do more chats on a more regular basis too.
Yeah. Definitely gotta do more. My schedule's just been so weird.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, it never stops being chaotic, but I hope your bosses don't raise hell. I hope they really got their stuff together.
We'll see.
I'll pray.
Yeah, thank you.
At least you're not on B5 being told what to do.
Definitely. Or Jeremiah, that show that he really hated doing.
Right?
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The
podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up